Hello. Good morning. Um, Please excuse my slight morning voice. I did intend on getting up a little earlier than I actually did. Um, but you know what? At least we're here. We are relatively on time. I made sure to have a little breakfast before I start. It is 9:04 a.m. my time right now, and we will be going for 3 hours. So I know that sounds like a really long time, but I've done several live reviews now, and I find that 2 hours is never enough. I always need a full 3 hours. So strap in. You guys are not obligated to stay the entire time because this stream will go up. Like it'll stay up as in like a public archived video, like all my streams are. So you guys aren't gonna miss anything. You can be like my husband and me. What we do is we put on VODs, like very long VODs. Sometimes these VODs are like 6 hours long. Um, and we just watch like half an hour or an hour of it every day during lunch, maybe another hour of it during dinner. It's our meal entertainment. So, like that's how we kind of like do this type of stuff. So anyway, I wanted to give you guys a fair enough warning about how long this stream is going to be. And next, I wanted to thank Woodify and Flute Center for making this review possible. Woodify is sponsoring this review, so thank you very, very much, Woodify. And Flute Center, because Flute Center is the US distributor for Woodify, they have sent over the Woodifys. Now, I know this box looks huge. It's because there are other goodies in here for future reviews. So I believe I asked for 2 other flutes. I feel like they put more in there. So those are for future reviews in the coming weeks. But today we will just be looking at Woodify. So Woodify are like these little wood U-shaped ligatures that you can just sort of like snap onto your flute, and it will change the behavior of the flute. So I will leave it up to Alessandro Baticci, the owner of Woodify, to explain it to you guys. I did an interview with him, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago now. And I figured that doing the interview asynchronously like this would be a lot easier for our schedules. So I will play the video for you guys soon. Strap in. It's an 18-minute long video, but it like fully like goes through like his thoughts as the creator of Woodify, like how he got into it and how you actually use it. I thought it was particularly interesting to get that take from the actual creator himself, because I think that's one thing that personally I feel has been lacking from some of my reviews is that, I'm going in blind, but, like it's always nice to have the actual creators, the actual like the to have the original thought around what the flute or the flute gadget does. I think it's always really interesting to see that part. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with you guys. Is there anything more? But yeah, so Flute Center it was the one who sent these products. Woodify is the one who is sponsoring. So yeah. Is there any other housekeeping items? Not that I can remember, but I will have you guys be very proud of me because I finally bought a silicone ring. The first review in which I am wearing a silicone ring. So I know that you guys probably have a bunch of you guys actually remember my little spiel when I say like, oh, don't wear rings and dangly jewelry because you could potentially scratch the instrument, blah 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 blah. But you can wear silicone rings. I finally bought a silicone ring. This is just a El Cheapo from Amazon, but I'm just very proud of it, and I thought that you guys would be proud of me too. Anyway, I think that's all the housekeeping for now. So now I want to say a quick hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Unsphered, Michael, Deanna, Midnight Moth, Nathan, Eric, hello. Erenhas, hello. How are you? From Lithuania. Please correct me if I'm not pronouncing your name right. Is it Irena, Irinjas, I think? Or I was pronouncing it like it's Spanish, and clearly you're not from Spain or Latin America. So hello, Lars. Hello, hello. And hello, Void. How are you? Hey, you made it. Yes, exactly. Thank you to Flute Center and Woodify for helping provide this content. Exactly. So, okay. Oh, I see, Deanna. You wear your silicone rings constantly. You only wear good rings to social functions. That's a good way of going about it. Right now, I have this system where I have this is my wedding ring. So I have it just in a little designated place where I always like swap the rings. So I always sit down at my desk, swap the ring, and then if I am going to leave my desk, I swap the rings. Yeah. So in Greek, Irenaeus. Am I saying that right? I'm so sorry. Can I call it? No, I will not ask. Am I saying that right? Let me know. Oh, wonderful, Michael. That sounds great. Okay, guys, it is time to play the video for you guys. In the meantime, I think while the video is playing, I will I'll get my flute out and stuff like that. I got everything else ready, but I figured that I had like 18 minutes to get my flute out and stuff. So I will not open the box, okay? I will not open this box until you guys see me do it. So, because I want you guys to really see that I am truly doing an open box. Irene. I was just about to ask you if I could call you Irene. Irene, wonderful. Yes, I do still have my wedding necklace. It's my engagement necklace. It's upstairs though. But that is dangly jewelry, so do not wear that while trying out new flutes. Anyway, we will start the video. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you on the other side. And do let me know though if the like audio is weird or anything like that. I will be watching from this side, monitoring stuff, but no, just in case. All right, enjoy the video. I'll see you guys afterwards. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. Alessandro from Woodify, the creator himself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and also about Woodify and, you know, just all the fun that we can expect from it.
Sure. Hi, Joanna. Thank you very much for the invitation. Let me say hello also to the listeners of your channel, and also thank the Flute Center, who has been a long-time partner in the Woodify journey. They are my distributor for the US, and I want to thank them also for this. So, yes, I'm the creator of Woodify, and I'm a flutist, first of all. So, for me, developing Woodify has been actually part of my flutist path. Oh. So it started 7 years ago, actually, now, and I moved to Vienna and to study music in Vienna, and here I also started to work with a flute workshop. who was very experimenting and very into research of sound and how flute works, how the sound is created, how materials affect the sound. And my professor, Barbara Gisela-Hase at the University for Music and Performing Arts here in Vienna, was very linked to this research and to this workshop. So I've been also on my own a lot interested into flute making, not so much to become an artisan, but from the physical point of view of how is sound created. And so these are things that have been also always been very interesting for me. I was a bit unhappy with the flute I was playing at the time, and I wanted to find something different that before buying a new instrument, I wanted to see if, okay, what can I do with my flute? I was also playing with a 14-karat instrument, which is actually a very good instrument. No, what can you wish
exactly
for? But I wanted to achieve something, and I was also influenced. The university in Vienna is everything is a bit around the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra and the sound that the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra has. So it's they are very much focused on a specific sound. Also the flute section. So I was also always fascinated by this very dark. Dark and dense sound. So what I did is I tried to experiment if I can find something that changes the way the instrument reacts. And this is how actually Woodify came into being. And then later on, the add-ons like the rests were a bit on the way because I was the guy at the university doing crazy experimenting and creating crazy things. So colleagues and students come to me, hey, I have a problem with my hand. Can you do something?
Oh my
and
God.
so I was like, let's see what I can do. And so things came into being this way.
This is slightly off topic, but there's a lot of parallel, I feel, to my path as well. Because university was when I started making these videos. Definitely, I was also the crazy flutist who was making videos. When you happen upon an idea that is really like dear to you and is like, you have that kind of like self-conviction about what you do, that kind of like, happening in school and then transitioning into a full career is just, it's so cool to see. And it's really beautiful.
It's also empowering, I think, at the time when it's happening, maybe you don't realize it. And I think it's something that also I would really like to say, because I think it's also for the people who are listening that are going through similar things. At least here in Vienna, my experience at the university was that, of course, the whole curriculum and the whole program in music university is to somehow straighten you into a career path, maybe in the orchestra or in academics. And being the geek and nerd a bit outside the block. At the beginning, maybe it feels a bit not easy, or that you feel you don't really fit in, and this makes you uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, actually, this is something that, and I think I can say it also for you, it's important to have your own thing. Because today also the market changed so much in the music, and so actually the more you can differentiate yourself and do the thing that you really love and you really believe in, the more chance you have to find a path in music. I mean, for me, Woodify, it's some of the things that I do along the way. I see myself as a full-time musician, but I see myself as a musician with the eyes of the entrepreneur, inventor. And this, I think, and this shapes my profile. And I think this is very important. So for everyone who is listening, who is the geek of the group, continue to do that, because I think it's super important.
Oh, that's so great. It's so awesome to hear like another professional, a very successful professional in the field say that. That's been something that I've been like really trying to impart to my viewers as well. Now let's talk about Woodify itself, what they do to the sound of the flute, that type of thing.
Very quick deep dive on how they work, how they should work, and what they do to the instrument. So my starting point, and I want to say as a disclaimer, so I'm not an acoustic, not a physicist, but I've done some measurement in the Institute of Acoustics in Vienna when I was studying.
Right.
But so the idea is that when you play the flute, the air breaks here on this sharp edge, and you set the vibrating column in motion inside the instrument. So the flute is made of metal, and metal is a resonating material, so it vibrates. But it's not like on string instrument. No, in string instrument, the resonating body is what actually makes the sounds.
Oh.
When you play violin, the actual body of the instrument is what amplifies the sound. No, so or on a guitar also, the board is what actually makes the sound. In wind instruments is actually the air column that makes the sound, and you just make it shorter or longer by opening and closing the keys. But of course, the material itself vibrates as well. And this vibration, what it does is it takes some of the energy of the air column away. It's like a sympathetic vibration. And gold instrument, for example, if you try 24 karat, 22 karat gold instrument, they're extremely difficult to play at the beginning because you need a lot of air. But at the same time, the rewarding thing is that all this sound projects a lot more than, let's say, a silver instrument or a beginner flute. And the reason for that, and this is where the studies and measurements that I came a bit in contact with this workshop in Vienna, because they did exactly this measurement for their own head joint making. Gold, the material, is a very soft metal, so you can bend it very easily compared to silver, which is very stiff and very strong. Being that when you have a resonating air column inside the instrument, it will be much more difficult to bring this a gold instrument into vibration than a silver one, because the silver one is more keen to vibrating, and the gold one doesn't actually want to move because the material is so soft. So this means that the gold gives you much more resistance. So you can blow with much more air, and the sound won't break. And on the other side, in silver, you have this like edge where more I cannot really give, or the sound either breaks or is ugly. No?
Got it. Yep.
So, and what I wanted to do is, okay, let's say I have a silver instrument, and I would like to have a gold flute, but I don't have $20,000 to pay on top of that. What can I do to make a silver flute go more into the direction of gold? So what I thought is, why not damp the tube mechanically? And so maybe we achieve something similar. So I started to try different materials, and then I ended up with wood. And so is how Woodify came into being. And then, but all the tests of how to make Woodify and the material to use, the path from this idea to how Woodify is now actually was all empirical tests. So I listened. I didn't like this. I started with metal at first. It was too much. The flute was not sounding at all.
Got it.
I tried cork, rubber, plastic, a bit of different materials, and then I ended up with wood. And with wood, actually, somehow they had the best sound result. And so then I narrowed down. I tried wood types that would work, and then I had to figure out how to bend it, how to make it work that it attached to the instrument, and
Yep.
and everything else came after that. So
That explains a lot about like my reaction to different metals as well.
this topic of acoustics and how
Yeah.
material, it's something I can already see in the comments,
Yeah.
because there I get it on my channel as well.
Yeah.
Many people that are very against this a
Yeah.
scientific approach to the thing. And
Yeah.
for me, it's not a scientific approach, because I mean I had this in the background,
Yeah.
but then for me everything was linked to my own perception of
Yeah.
how what it did with me. One thing that is actually always very fascinating when I go to like a flute convention or exhibitions, and I have people that test Woodify for the first time. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Because usually you see there are two different types of people to the test Woodify. There are the one that go for it,
Yeah.
and but also that have a sort of playing attitude where they just play maybe with a lot of air. They just go into the sound, and they and they are, for example, the one that really see immediately a change.
Right. Yep.
In sound, and it's so obvious for everyone around that there is this aha effect.
Yeah.
And then there are other people who have a playing style which is more maybe where it's less about the amount of air, more about of the precision of playing. I find, for example, that Muramatsu flutes are, very. They have this gentle, very smooth French sound in a way, and many people don't like to force and give so much pressure. So their immediate reaction is they play in the same way, but Woodify, of course, makes it kind of reduces a bit what they can give.
Oh, interesting.
So they and often I need to guide them to let's try to reduce a bit of focus here and give more air, and let the Woodify do some of the work for you. And then they see that actually I can actually give a bit more air, but I can focus a bit less, because also one thing is how you perceive your sound when you play, and another thing is how it sounds 2 or 3 meters away. And so it's often also about. But of course, it sounds great here, but you need to project, because the listener is over there.
Exactly.
So it's fascinating to see how people react, and I'm always open to how people react to the product and how they play their playing style, of course. But I try to guide them through the results I want them to experience. So that and it's something difficult. It needs a bit of education. No? This is the difficult task, job that I took over with this product. It's Woodify, that it really needs this experience.
That's perfect. And thank you so much for telling us too, because this is a really good information for me to keep in mind as I test these. I'll just let myself go.
Let yourself go. Also try things that are very difficult for you usually.
Got it.
Or weak points of your instrument.
Okay.
Because the other cool thing about Woodify is that the effect is not just you plug it in and that's it.
Right.
You have a few parameters to work with, which are actually essential. So, for example, the position of the ring.
Right.
Don't tell me why, but it's consistent across years that I test Woodify with on my end or with other. But depending on where on the instrument you place it, you can affect the different registers.
Oh, that's so
So, for example, that's very fascinating.
Yeah.
For example, if you place it right at the here where the middle part of the instruments, this joint here is, you will hear a lot going on in the lower register. So a very broad lower register, but you will feel that the high octave closes a bit down. On the other hand, if you go 1 centimeter, I don't know in inch, but like
all good.
Something like this, one finger up towards the mouthpiece, the embouchure, then you will hear that the upper register opens up, and on the other side, the lower register feels a bit like more closed or more centered. So what
Interesting.
I suggest to do usually is, if you have an instrument that has the the problem that it's too bright maybe, or
Yep.
that it's in the higher register it's a bit like
Mhm.
too much overtones, it's
Mhm.
too like screaming sound,
Yeah.
you can counterbalance a bit the instrument with
Huh.
Woodify, with the position. And
Yeah.
the other parameter that you have is the strength of the effect. So
Got
with
it.
the screw, of course,
Yep.
you can really fasten it completely,
Got
or you
it.
can from
Yeah.
the point where you cannot screw anymore, you can just go a bit back.
Okay. Oh,
It does, because it doesn't move. I
no.
mean, but then you can have different degrees of the effect.
Oh,
No,
that's so
so you have
interesting.
these parameters to work with,
Okay.
which can which add another layer of complexity to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's actually more fun because you
Yeah.
can adapt for different repertoire, for
Yes.
pieces,
Exactly.
also for the way you play, you feel that day. No,
Yeah.
if you feel that you don't really want to engage so much
Right.
and play with so much focus, you can just release a bit,
Yeah.
and then the effect is less strong. So testing is really important here,
Wow.
over also a certain period of time in the best case. No,
Yeah.
because also, everyone went through it. You go to a flute shop to test
Mm-hmm.
an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
It's so difficult in a
Yeah.
half an hour, 40 minutes
Yeah.
to have an idea of,
Right.
it's so difficult.
Exactly.
And you actually need to, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
at least a week
Yep.
to test the instrument and then go back to your instrument,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
see how the difference is. No, so I also welcome everyone always to give Woodify a long period of trial,
Yep. Yep.
and then go back and see the advantages and disadvantages. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much for joining us today and for sharing about your journey and also just Woodify itself. I'm really excited to try it. Thank you so, so
Yeah,
much.
cool. So yeah, I thank you, Joanna. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. Take your time, test Verify, and if you have any question, just yeah, let
Awesome.
me know, and
Will
I will
do.
be super happy to help you. So
Perfect.
thanks to you, and thanks to your listeners for the time.
Hello again. um, what did you guys think? Was that amazing? So for those of you guys who dropped in the middle of that, if you guys noticed a few cuts here and there, it was pre-recorded. Ali and I figured that it would be a lot easier just scheduling wise to do this interview basically asynchronously from this live stream date. There's also a lot more things that can potentially go wrong with a live interview. So far, I've been very lucky in that the live interviews I've done have not gone wrong. But there's always a chance. So, especially with our schedules being kind of crazy, we decided to do it this way. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. What do you guys think? So, I can see that Deanna's inner geek is very happy with the resonance talk. Excellent, excellent. I wanted to say hello to the people who dropped in during the interview. Um, Hello, Michelle. Um, let's see, Victor and Ezra. Um, Also, Irenaeus, I went on during the interview. I went on my phone and looked up how to say your name, and I hope that was correct. Irenaeus, right? Something like that. It was interesting, right? Yeah, it essentially like since Lars is saying that it would be interesting to compare it to the Le Freak, I think what they do are two very different things. My understanding of the Le Freak is that it's like a bell. It's like attaching a bell to your instrument, whereas the Woodify is essentially dampening the instrument. So it's doing the opposite. It has the opposite effect. I think it would be interesting to compare. However, today we're just going to be looking at Woodify. Let's see. I know it's really fantastic to like, you know, to get in contact with Ale. It's so I you guys sent me a Woodify finger rest. I believe it was Cintiu who sent me the left hand rest, I believe it was. And then Unsphered here in the chat bought a Woodify twig, which is the right hand thumb rest, and sent your flute over for me to review not the twig, but to review the whatchamacallit, the what was it? The titanium head joint stopper, was it? And you sneaky put on the twig and then made me kind of fall in love with it. So I ended up ordering my own Woodify twig. And then I had talked about how I felt like the Woodify left hand rest and the twig, the wave and the twig, I felt that they like made me feel the flute more. So I actually do want to attach them onto my flute sometime soon again. Ale saw that. I don't know how he managed to find it on Twitch. It was on Twitch. It was before I came back to YouTube. He found it on Twitch, popped it on his website, and so I reached out and said, hey, then we became friends, and it's awesome. So, and then now we get to do this. It's so great. We also did a series on his extended technique book, the Hyperflute. So Ale also wrote the Hyperflute. I think we did it, I want to say it was a year ago, something like that, a year and a half ago, something like that. So if any of you remember the Hyperflute live stream series, Ale wrote that. Yeah, so it was fantastic. So Blue Moon, hello and welcome to the stream. Hello, Beth. Welcome. The review portion has not happened yet. The interview portion has. We're just kind of like, I'm just asking what you guys thought of it. Guilty as charged and feared. I love it. Let's see. We'll need to listen to the interview later. Sounds great. I mean, that's what this, this is all like, this whole like live stream is meant to stay up here forever for you guys to see. So yeah. Am I testing the alto rings today? No, I'm only testing the ones for the C flute today, because I don't know if this is widely spread information about me, but I do not own an alto flute. I will be testing it on my flute. I have thought maybe if we have time, I'm unsure if we have time. Ideally, if we have time, I do want to mess around on my other flutes too, just to kind of see what it does, and what it would do to my other flutes. So we shall see. We shall see what happens. So Michelle, you love the walnut and cherry. Now you're just going to background and appreciate being a silent participant. You don't have to be. You guys can chime in as much as you want or as little as you want. It's totally up to you. So anyway, that is a great segue into opening the box. I will be opening this in a way where I do need to make sure that I don't accidentally dox myself, because I do know that there is an invoice sitting in here. So I just have to make sure that you guys can't see it. But I do want to show myself opening the box so that you guys know that this is a very real, like, you know, I haven't tried this myself. You guys can see me actually reacting to it. I know that Ale said to, you know, if you're actually truly considering purchasing a Woodify, that you give yourself a nice long trial. And I do agree with that. So you should actually do that with any flute that you try. I think I included the my like 1 week trial of my head joint when I first got it. But yeah, at least 1 week I would say is ideal. Okay, I'm just gonna block the view a little bit. Hopefully I can, I'm just not gonna look at the, okay, all right. I got the invoice. It is out of sight. Now I'm not gonna look at the other stuff that they sent. So it looks like, okay, I think they're all in here. I think. Yeah, they're certainly light enough that I think it's all in here. So I do see 2 flutes in here. So that these flutes are going to be reviewed in future stream. All right. I'm gonna put them off to the side. I don't know what type, exactly what flutes they are, but I can see that one of them is a Haynes and one of them is a Yamaha. And I have no idea what model they are. Like, we shall see. Anyway, I'm going to tuck this away. And now we can just take a look at this. Wow. I swear I focused this camera earlier. Let me refocus it. Come on, you can do it. There you go. There you go. Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay. We will, let's do this. Then you guys can see a little bit better. I think I will actually switch just to, so that this is larger on the screen for you guys, but I thought I'd start with this so you guys can see, I guess my reaction to this. We'll do the big close-up later, but I'm just reading what you guys are saying. What woods are available for the Woodify rings? Quite the number, and I believe they're all in here. I don't want to look at the invoice because I don't want to see what the other flutes are. That I want to be surprised. Or okay, I'm just going to fold. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we have quite a few in here, and wow, this camera just does not want to focus. Okay, there we go. So we have here ash wood, beech wood, cherry wood, walnut, and then we have an ash wood plus like a Woodify, yeah, Woodify ash wood plus Zebrano. So there's like an insert of like another wood. And then there is another one which is walnut and Zebrano. Am I even saying that right? I know that I used to say Mopane, and then you guys corrected me and said that it's actually pronounced Mopani. So if I am mispronouncing some of these wood names, go ahead and let me know in the chat. I will not be like offended or anything. Always willing to learn. But okay. Oh, they're all here. 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, all 6 are in here. Let me show you guys. Let's show you guys like this. Oh, that's so pretty. my goodness. Okay. I know which ones are the walnut ones. So these ones are the walnut ones. And yeah. So you can see that this one has like a little insert. Yeah, it has a little insert and it goes through it, as you can see. I'm just going to pull up, I believe these are the ash ones, because the ash ones are the palest ones, I believe. Let me just look it up really quickly while you guys ooh and awe at this. Let's see. Then we're gonna look up Woodify. Okay. So we're gonna look at the rings. Yeah. So these lighter ones, I believe, are the ash ones. Yeah, because one of the ash ones has the insert. Yeah. Oh, this is really nice. Yeah. Okay. Nice. That means that the other two, I believe, are the cherry ones. Right? Is it cherry? No, one is beech wood and then one is cherry. I need to find out which one is which. So I'm just going to compare to what I see on the pictures. Okay, so it looks like the cherry wood is the slightly lighter one. Yeah. So this one must be cherry. I think this one is cherry, and then this one must be the beech. Yeah. I think this one is cherry, and then this one is beech. Okay, so we have, I'm gonna put them in order. Here, the beech is the one that's the darker one. Yeah, and then cherry, walnut, and then we have the ashwood and zebrano, and then the walnut and zebrano. Okay, so we have the full collection here in order now. At least I believe this is in order. If there are any wood experts in the chat who disagree with what I said, feel free to let me know. Again, very open to being corrected. But I believe what we have here. Oh, interesting. Wait a second. Both of these have inserts. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, I may have been sent 2 ash woods with the insert. Ash wood, yep, I think I was. Okay, so that doesn't matter though. We will still review these. Oh, this is so cool. So there's they're held together like this, and then you can just tighten it by turning on the screw here. Very cool. Okay, yeah, I was sent two of them with inserts, as you guys can see. So I think they're going to work exactly the same. Let me see. Also, I think this one, if I'm not mistaken, should actually be like this. There we go. Okay, just wanted to put it on the way that I'm seeing that they want to be. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, this is what we're working with. I want to see what you guys are saying. Yeah, Merriam-Webster online says Mopani. Yeah, for Mopani. Yeah. Your rests are avuncle and you're absolutely in love with the color and grain. Yeah, so are mine. My wave and my twig are also avuncle, which I think the walnut would match it the closest if you're looking for something to just match it aesthetically. So compare the insert against the cherry and the beech. Oh. I think this one is cherry because the cherry one has a little bit more of a reddish color to it, right? Would they also make good napkin holders too? I mean, expensive napkin holders, but probably. Also, welcome, Greg. How are you doing? Okay, well, let's get to trying these, shall we? Hello again. I'm part of me is like, I don't even know where to begin. I was thinking about what I wanted to do, like in terms of what we wanted to test against my normal rubric. And I think what I want to do is focus on the tone. So I want to focus on, let's do some harmonics, and then we'll do some like tone color dynamic stuff. And then I'm just gonna look at my rubric here to see what we want to do. But yeah, mostly the tone stuff is what we'd be looking at. So let me just see really quickly my own reviews. Harmonics, tone, color, dynamics. Yeah, I think that's mostly what we're going to be looking at. So in terms of my own rubric, I want to try that on all of these. I think I will try both of the Ash plus Zebrano inset, just because I can see they look a little different. So I want to see if there are some differences even among the same, like, you know, the same wood, you know. I'm curious about that. So I will take a look at that. But let's do that, shall we? So let's go in order and then just do it against my rubric. But I think maybe what I'll do, I might also choose some, like a few Genshin tunes to try different registers on each of them. Because yeah, I might actually just straight up use the Genshin Impact main theme, because that theme starts in the middle register, goes up into the highest register, and then down into the lowest one. So I think it'll be really good to kind of hear what Ali was talking about, like depending on where you move it, you can hear the top notes opening up or the bottom notes opening up. Okay, I think that's the plan. So we'll do harmonics, tone, color, and dynamics, and then we will do the Genshin main theme for each of these, and we'll see how it goes. So let's first stick it onto the flute. He did mention to me personally to make sure to put the side with the screw towards you. And he mentioned that if anything, that's more for like an aesthetic appeal, so that it's not like this random like thing just kind of like staring at you from the other side. So let's do this. Why don't we let's put the inserts at the end. So we're actually going to start then with Beech Wood. Yeah, so let's start with Beech Wood. And I believe all you do is slide your, yeah, I don't know if you guys could see how easy that was. You just loosen it and then slide it through. So let's see. If I'm playing like this, we don't want that on that side, so we want it on this side. And he had it. Okay, so that's not moving around too much. He mentioned that the effect is heightened the tighter you have it. So I kind of want to try that. Just for the sake of the review, it might be better to do it super tight. Okay. All right. And yeah, because it's wood, you can just kind of like, you saw how he did it too, right, guys? He just like moved it around up and down his head joint. Okay. So give me a moment, guys, because I want to review the part where he talks about where to put it. Okay, I'm going to review where he said to put it. So I'm just gonna pop on my headphones. Do you guys like that I wore the same shirt as in the interview for continuity purposes? Okay, so I'm just going to go to that part. Let's see. Okay. Oh. Interesting. Okay, so you can apparently put it on the neck itself to make your lower registers pop. Okay. And then up a centimeter up. So about there. That'll make the high register open up. Yeah. Okay. So if it's higher up the neck like this, I should be able to hear my high register notes open up. I think here is where he normally puts it. Yeah, he normally puts it here. And then we can also try out putting it on the neck. That's interesting. Okay. So let's head wrong screen, but you guys saw my notes. That's my notes, my old notes for what flute was that? I believe that was a pearl. But so let's see. Okay, so let's do, I need to get my notes out here. So we're going to start first with beech, right? Is this beech? Yeah, beech wood. So this is beech wood. Okay. I'm gonna make sure that that is within shot. Okay, so we're gonna start with the kind of like the normal positioning, which is just a hair over the neck. So we'll start with that. Actually, we should first start with nothing on, right? I think that's actually what we should do. Okay, we're gonna start with nothing on first. Then you guys can hear my sound naked first. I'm just gonna turn this off for now, just so it doesn't get in the way. Okay. So that's harmonics. All right. Did you guys get a good feel of how my flute sounds by itself? Oh, I'll also play the Genshin main theme. All right, a few mistakes here and there because it's still kind of like morning for me. But now let's try it with the Woodify. So this is the Beech Woodify. We're gonna first try it in the middle register, like the like middle register part, and we'll tighten this so that the effect is much more pronounced. I'm just trying to like straighten this a little bit. Okay. I'll get used to this, guys. I'll get used to this, I swear. Okay. Yeah, that's nice and tight now. Okay. We'll try it in the middle register. So he did mention that I can just let go of it. I don't have to like focus or like that is like control my breathing as much. So we're gonna let go and just have fun. Okay. Here we go. Okay, immediately you can tell it takes a lot more. So I'll put here I'll put here middle position. So can take a lot more air, and you really don't have to focus your lips as much. Yeah, you can really just let it go and it won't crack. That's so interesting. I just realized I forgot to start recording. We'll start recording from there. Okay. I can really widen up my airstream and put in a ton of air and it does not break. So I feel at least that I can dig more. Can dig into sound more, which means that I can potentially let go expressive wise. Okay. We'll try out the Genshin theme again. Oh, okay, okay. Um, the high notes, they just speak like they resonate where I want them to. Like wherever I'm like aiming for them to resonate, it just pops. It pops. And like those low notes, I can really dig. I can really, really dig now. Okay, so now I'm just gonna try the high part. This is the Genshin main theme, by the way. I'm gonna try the high part, but where he said that you could just like, we're just going to put the, we're gonna put the Woodify up higher and then tighten that just for the like the more like the bigger effect. Yeah, okay, that's nice and tight now. Okay. I'm just gonna try that top bit now because this is supposed to open up now, like with it up this high, about a centimeter up from the neck. It's supposed to open up those high notes even more. So it probably makes them less resistant. High register feel like you're just playing middle register. That's incredible. Nope, that one needs a bit more air. Okay. So what's interesting there is that with it up this high, when it opens up the high register, what I'm finding that at least that Beech Wood is doing, it's actually causing the place where you resonate to those high notes to be a little bit further forward. So it's not as far back. This has interesting implications because this means that if you feel like you're choking on your high notes, like you have to resonate them so far back that you're choking on them, you can do this and it'll just bring it forward. I think. We'll try it on the other ones too. Did I say? Oh, flute enthusiast. Whoops, sorry, I pressed on the wrong one. Since flute enthusiast, dad, your dad, right, is a woodworker. Okay, let me change that. All good, cherry wood. So let's, holy cow. Okay. Well, so I'm going to put this here. So in the high position, it moves the resonant spot further forward. like that's probably why it's easier to play, because it's not so far back. So this is making me think that the lower position will probably snap it back. Interesting. So we will try that actually. All right, let's try moving it all the way down. Oop. Okay, there. I had to open it up entirely. So I'm just going to find there we go. Okay. So if it's all the way down here on the neck, apparently this will open up your low notes. So I'm going to guess. I'm going to make a guess that opening up the low notes means that you don't have to resonate as far forward. That's what I'm guessing. Okay, let's try it. We're going to try the low position now. So that second bit I did that sounded a lot thinner, that's usually where I need to resonate those low notes. But you can hear how it actually sounds too thin now. But if I resonate further back, that's where you get that rich tone color now. Another interesting thing, I'm not sure if this is just a property of the cherry wood, but it could be. So we'll see how it compares to the other ones. I'm finding that I have to round out I dropped it again. I have to round out like the inside of my mouth way more. There we go. We'll keep that as a unsure if this is just cherry wood. We'll keep that as an unsure. We'll write this down though. So I'll put here the low position moves the resonance spot further back. So this has really, really fun implications because it means that if you find that in general, your flute is too back playing for you, you can put it on the neck and it'll, or put it on the higher part of your head joint, and then it will just bring everything forward. Yeah, so I think it's like if the higher the Woodify is on the neck, the more it brings everything forward. The lower it is on the head joint, or if it's straight up on the neck, it will bring everything back. That's super interesting. Now, but the shape of the airstream, like the shape of the resonant space, I find is very, very round, at least for cherry. So let's see. I'll put here general thoughts. Very round. Don't know if it's just cherry. So we'll see. Yeah, hopefully Flute Center or Woodify can confirm. I'm totally, again, very open to be corrected because I am not familiar with, woods. So I believe according to According to Flute Enthusiast here, this one is cherry, and then this one is beech. Is that right? If you look at them, does that seem right to you? So this one was the one we just tried, which we're now correcting as cherry, and then this one is beech. Let me know if that sounds right to you. Well, we will continue with the new possibly Beech Wood one. This one for sure is walnut. That's the one that I do know. It is cherry. Oh, Woodify. Hello, Ale. Everyone say hello to Alessandro. Okay. Flute Enthusiast was right. So this is cherry. Okay, great. Perfect. So I think it creates a very round resonant chamber inside your mouth. Inside mouth. There we go. Yeah, Woodify. Yes, everyone please say hello to Woodify, at Woodify with a hello, with a wave, with a hand wave in the chat. All right, yay! We work together to figure this out. Okay. Okay. I think we're not drawing yet. I did open up the thing to draw just in case, but unsure. So now we are actually going to do beech. I'm still so awkward with this, Ale. I think I will get not awkward with this sometime soon, but at the moment, still very awkward. I'm sure you've seen this so much when people have like tested it. Okay, so we're gonna go with the middle position first and see what we make of this. Place it on the barrel. Yes, I just tried that. Yes. So what I discovered is that I'm calling this the middle position, which is right above the barrel, right above the neck. And I noticed that it just in general, just kind of everything felt really round and open and big. And then in the high position up here, it moved like wherever I want to resonate the note in my mouth, it moved everything forward, which is, I believe that's why it feels easier to people to play, because it's harder to play with a higher airspeed when you're trying to resonate it in the back of your mouth. And then when I put it on the barrel, I'm calling it the low position, it moved the resonant spot back, which is also probably why people generally feel that the low notes like are easier to play, because they don't have to resonate it in front of their like teeth or anything. So there are some really interesting implications here, because it means you can really fine tune your flute to be more open or less open to you, like in a way that's comfortable for your mouth. So like if you're on a flute that you're not comfortable on, you can use a Woodify to just tweak it, basically, which like I find that to be a very interesting like way of essentially like modifying your flute, which I think is the original intent anyway, right? So now we are on the Beech Wood, right? Confirm that this is Beech Wood. Unfortunately, just so that Ale knows, I think I was sent 2 of the ash ones with inserts, so I will test them both, but I'm going to guess that they're going to pretty much act exactly the same. But yeah, yes, correct, excellent. Yeah, so I'll see if they're like what the difference is. So the last one was cherry. This one is beech wood. So let's see what it does to the sound. We're gonna do the same thing, harmonics, and then some tone and dynamics, tone color dynamic stuff, and then we're gonna do the Genshin main theme because it does middle, high register, and low register. All right. All right. Yeah, I think the different woods make different shapes of the resonant space inside of your mouth. So whereas the cherry kind of demanded a very round, like almost like a like you feel like you're kind of holding a ball inside of your mouth. This one is more of like a wider shape. You're kind of holding a shape that feels like a wide bean and you're holding it horizontally, just like inside of your mouth. Yeah, it's a wider shape. So I'll put here, what to say, general thoughts is what we call this. General thoughts is a wider resonant chamber, wider, flatter resonant chamber inside mouth. So this again has interesting implications because everybody has different shaped mouths. So you're probably going to feel that each of these woods will like demand that you make a different shape in your mouth. And then maybe there's one that just works. And then maybe that one actually just matches the shape of your mouth. Very interesting implication there. Okay, so I'm going to now try it in, let me try the entire Genshin main theme again. Now I want to do it too forward. very wide throughout. Like I can really feel it now that I'm playing an entire song. So now I think I want to try, oh, I did want to try different tone colors actually. This is interesting, especially because it demands such a wide resonant chamber. I want to see what happens if I try to go hollow. Okay, so because it's so wide, I actually find it ironically easier to go into a very stable hollow sound. So allows for a very stable hollow sound without breaking. Yeah, because you don't have to go as like narrow. You don't even have to go as circular to get that really nice hollow sound, but also because it does demand just such a wide resonant chamber in the mouth. You can also put a lot of air into it to get that really rich sound, and that also doesn't break. Rich, wide sound also doesn't break and can take a lot of air. So you can really dig into the sound. Interesting. Okay. So I want to try it now up top for those high notes. Okay. I'm tightening it like crazy so that I can feel the effects of it. Okay. Sorry, wrong mic. So that's where I want to place it, but now it's more forward. Yeah, it's considerably more forward. It's like around my teeth now, whereas usually it's like it resonates like on the roof of my mouth behind my teeth. So I'm not used to it, which is why you guys are hearing me like you know, break it constantly or like just not get the correct harmonic. There we go. Now I'm more used to it because I'm now aiming to resonate it against like my teeth. Silky smooth though once you get it, and it's a lot easier to aim it there actually than against the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. So I was just thinking this has some very interesting implications for people who, for example, do session work. So if you do recordings for, I don't know, video games or something like that, and if you like record in like tiny segments, so like if you just kind of like record one phrase and then another phrase and another phrase, this is really interesting because then you could achieve that silky smooth, dependable, like, you know, interval leaps like what I'm just doing here, by just scooching your Woodify up a centimeter. And then that way you can just like get that really silky smooth sound. And then on the next phrase, you can just move it back down. Like, I think that's really interesting that you would be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try it now on the barrel. Now I know that I need to take off this whole piece here. So I'm just going to be very careful. This time I did not drop it. Okay. We're going to open this up so it can fit. There it is. Okay. So now it is on the barrel. And we're going to try out just the low notes here. Again, a very interesting implication for people who do session work. Or if you're like, you know, in an orchestra and you just happen to have a very low solo and you need it to be, you know, you need it to be very dependable. And if you have enough of a like a rest, you can slide it down. Interesting. Okay, I definitely felt it. There we go. I definitely felt it there. When you move it down so that it opens up your low register, you basically just imagine you're playing middle register notes. And then everything just pops. So I think for me, because my flute already plays very far forward, I'm guessing that for my high notes, I should not actually put it all the way up an entire centimeter, because right now I'm feeling that when I put it up an entire centimeter away from the barrel, the my high A is even resonating around my teeth, which is usually where I want to say that's normally where my like C5 resonates. So like multi octaves below is usually where that resonates. So I think for me, if I want to open up my high register notes, I think I only need to put it up the barrel, like, or up the head joint away from the barrel, maybe only half a centimeter. That's what I'm thinking. So if I were to really tailor this to myself and I wanted to just open up my high notes, make them easier to play so that I don't have to go as far up and back, I think I would only go up about half a centimeter. So this is interesting for you guys to kind of think about if you guys are interested in looking into these for yourself. You have to really understand how your flute plays, understand what are your weaknesses and the weaknesses of the flute, and then you can essentially tweak where the Woodify sits in order to compensate for it. Super interesting. That is really interesting. I am very, very excited now to try the walnut one. So to review, it would appear that the cherry one gives you a very round resonant chamber inside the mouth. This beech wood gives you a very wide and flat resonant chamber. So I'm curious to see what the walnut does. Okay, let's try this out. Oh, and I think I should probably also swab. So I'm going to do that really quickly. Okay, we've done 2. And yep, it's already 10:38. Vlad, hello and welcome. Okay, give me a sec to swab out my flute. entirely, just so I get this nice, a nice reset. I'm unsure, Vlad. I mean, what I'm really testing is sort of the practical applications of the Woodify. I would say that if you wanted the answer to your question here, that would probably have to get tested in like a lab with you know, all the equipment to do the necessary measurements. But yeah, I would say that I'm definitely reviewing it from the perspective of someone who like what are the practical uses of Woodify. So, and there are a lot of practical uses. I'm seeing a lot of really good ones for if you are you know, if you like your flute like 80-90%, but there's just some parts of it that you wish kind of fit you a little bit better. Yeah, you can really tweak like where it resonates in the mouth, which is usually something that you'll only find if you like change the entire material of the flute. But what Ale has found is that you can essentially use these wood attachments to, you know, essentially like change you're changing the how the flute like vibrates essentially, which is, you know, technically what happens when you change the material of the flute. Anyway, nice and dry. So let's put the flute back together. I know you guys might want to see this, so we'll do that. Put the flute back together. Oh, no, but we want to put the walnut one on now. Okay, let's try the walnut. Let's start with general thoughts. Yeah, so in terms of the, as far as I'm seeing right now, the moving it up and down does the same thing no matter what wood it is. I think it's the shape of the airstream, like not the airstream, but the shape of the resonant chamber inside of your mouth. I think that's what changes with each wood. I'm very curious to see how walnut works. Okay, let's see. So just to be clear, I am putting these on really tight so that I can really feel the full effect of the wood. But you guys don't have, like in practical uses, you guys don't have to put it on so tight. Like if you don't want the effect to be as crazy, you just loosen it. That's it. Okay, so let me just make sure we're in line here. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's give this a go. Hello, Amir. How are you? Oh. Okay, this is really interesting because the resonant chamber inside of your mouth, the shape that you have to hold is like a point, like this. So cherry was like a nice round shape inside the mouth. Beech wood was wide, like a big wide kind of oblong shape you have to hold. This is like a point, like this. I know that some people's mouths are shaped this way. So if you know that the inside of your mouth is shaped like this, you might like the walnut. As of now, though, because it's so like it forces the inside of your mouth to be shaped into a point, it's actually forcing my tongue to come up to compensate for the extra space that I have. Interesting. So resonant chamber in mouth is shaped like a triangle, or like almost like a cone, like a cone, like a cone with the tip pointing outwards. So what I'm finding is essentially it's the back of the cone that you are like making it small to make that like really thin, hollow, soft sound. And then you make the back of the cone bigger to get that richer sound. But it all comes to a point. It's so interesting. Yeah, if you have a wider airstream, exactly. I think you'll like the beech one. If you have more of like a rounder shape, I think you would like the cherry one. And then if you have a mouth shape that is pointed like this, you might like the walnut. That's so interesting. Okay, let's try out the Genshin Impact main theme again, because it starts middle register, goes up really high into my weak spot, and then down really low. I would say that personally, this one does not fit me, but I know some people. I know some people whose mouths are actually shaped to a point. And this might do it for you. Like, you'll probably feel like, oh, finally, you know, you don't have to fight I'm fighting though, because my mouth is not shaped like this. So I have to like, I have to compensate with my tongue and some of my cheek muscles to create this shape. And it's not the greatest feeling personally for me, but I do know a few people that I think that this would be perfect for. So I think I'm now going to try out the high register. So I'm going to move this up a centimeter. Make it nice and tight again. Yeah, okay. Try the high notes. Ooh, that makes a huge difference. Hey, Chris. Okay, so after a few tries, you can hear that I can get that really like slick movement. But like what's interesting is that this one, I think it's because the shape of the airstream that the walnut is forcing is a cone. That tip of the cone sticks all the way out. So my high notes I feel are like even though this is at essentially the same location as where we put the Woodify for the other woods for the high, for the high notes. It's in the same spot for those high notes, but I feel like it's like all the way in the front. It's crazy. So I would say that probably for walnut, you may not feel like you need to really like do much to open up the high notes. Like I think the fact that the airstream shape is already like this is already like causing a lot of it to be like a lot of the resonance to be up in the front anyway, even though it's not that much. It's like a cone. It's so interesting. Okay, I want to try it just further down again in the old position, but the same spot. Okay, nice and tight. Okay. Okay, this is particularly tricky for me because my mouth is not shaped like this. But yeah, what I'm finding is that because the resonant space inside of the mouth is so pointed, I'm feeling like I have to resonate really forward, but keep the back of my mouth really open. So if your mouth is naturally shaped like this, I think you'll love this. So I'm going to guess that the low notes are going to feel fantastic. Like, we just kind of inch it down here. I think it's going to be really great because I think this will move the low, yeah, this will move the low notes further back in the mouth. So they're not quite so far forward. Because if I remember correctly, my students who have the like the shape that's like this, like the inside of the mouth is shaped like this. If I remember correctly, I believe they find low notes really difficult. Oh, thank you for the subscription. Yeah, you guys heard how that's way more, it like feels more comfortable to me too, because yeah, that point is so far forward that it's actually too far forward for me. So for me, actually putting it down here for the walnut feels pretty good. I'm curious to hear how the higher notes sound with the walnut being all the way down here. Okay, I got it to work, but I'm definitely like swallowing everything. Like it does move everything back. So I know it's deceiving. I know that you guys like, oh, you know, so you sound like you had a better time with it down there. Just so you know, I was swallowing everything. So this, it's interesting. I would say that putting the walnut down here on the barrel on my flute makes my flute feel like I feel like I'm playing a Yamaha. Interesting implications. Okay. So, I would say, so you must keep the back of the cone open. You have to keep it open. If you don't keep it open, you'll end up with that kind of like the like thin piano soft sound, which you don't want all the time. You want that like resonant sound. This is super interesting. Yeah, I've tried 3 so far. So here. So we've done cherry, we've done beech, and now we're on walnut. Yeah. Interesting. It's like what you found with the Le Freak. You use it on the crown instead, and it focuses your sound much better than on the barrel. Yeah, it's super, super interesting. Yeah. I suddenly went flatter in the intonation. Wow. Oh, okay. I'm not surprised, especially with how I'm struggling with the walnut. Not surprised. Okay. That is very interesting. I thought I would really like the walnut. I tend to like dark woods, but it's interesting how this reacts. Very, very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to pop this off now to just open it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, let me put this guy back together. And then we are going to try the, I believe it's the Ash and Zebrano insert. Yeah, so unfortunately, I got sent 2 of the same. So we'll try one. I'm going to guess that the other one is going to react exactly the same way. So I think you guys will want to watch me put it together. So this is the Ash and Zebrano. Yeah. So we'll put this here. ash and zebrano. So what they mean by that is there, so it's not double. There's a little insert. I guess that's the zebrano part. So very fun, very fun. Okay, so we will head back to this. All right, let's pop this onto my flute and see how this does. Oh, it's so interesting. This is, I knew I was gonna have a really fun time with this. Like, just cause it's just so interesting what you can do. Okay. Does this fit in my flute yet? No. Okay. I think it fits now. There we go. Okay. There we go. We got it now. So we will. I am still so awkward with this. So insanely awkward. I feel like my fingers are too big. Way too big. Hope lunch was delicious, Michael. Okay, so where are we? There we go. We're way too low. Okay, so let's see what happens with this guy. I am tightening it like crazy. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, let's do this. So this is, I guess it's primarily ash, but with a tiny inset. Okay. Good. We'll give this a go. It's a different shape. Let me do a little bit more and then I'll describe it to you guys. All right. So I think we need to do a little bit of drawing because we need to keep track of all of these shapes. So let's head on over to here. Okay, I'm gonna make it nice and thick. So the cherry was round. Okay. The beech was, it kind of felt like this inside of the mouth. Okay. Now the walnut was like a cone. So this is, do this. So if our lips were here, okay. Now the ash and Zebrano. This one from the, so if you're looking from the front of the mouth, like the shape is like this. Maybe not quite. It's like, okay, so it is wide, but it kind of curves up on the top. So if you want to go for like a thinner tone color, you end up just kind of playing up here. It's, yeah, that's super, super interesting. You guys saw, wow, you guys saw me do a frowny face? Yeah, it's because the shape of the airstream or the resonant space inside of the mouth is that kind of like frowny. Like you have to keep the bottom of your mouth really wide. Yeah. Who's Zebrano? Is that a new league champion? Oh, Mir, you're the best. Okay. It's really interesting. This is very, very interesting. Okay, we're gonna try it on so I'll put here. So the general thoughts are it's very wide in the bottom of resonant chamber in mouth, rounded up top. So wide and then it rounds up. That's how it feels inside of the mouth. So interesting. Okay, we're gonna try the Genshin main theme again. Yeah, I am more comfortable, but I would say I'm not the most comfortable. What this is forcing me to do is like really like keep my jaw really low. Like I almost feel like I have to like use a few muscles here to just kind of keep everything low, which is reminiscent of how I feel when I play pearls. So I have students who play pearls and they sound gorgeous and lovely and beautiful. It's just, unfortunately, I think for me, my mouth is so small that I don't have enough space in my mouth to play a pearl comfortably. And this is reminding me of that. So it's very bottom heavy. I think that's what I'll put here. Very bottom heavy. So I have a suspicion that if you play like a pearl or a very like bottom heavy, like resonant chamber wise, very bottom heavy flute, I think you'll really like this, because this will allow you to push against it. Like you can push more air against it and it won't break. So yeah. So I wouldn't say that it's the opposite of the walnut one, because the walnut one was a cone where the wider end is in the back and then the pointy end is in the front. It's more like it's if you took that cone and then turned it 90 degrees. That's more what this Ashen Zebrano is like, except that it's way more rounded. It's not like a pointed tip. But yeah, it's like if you just kind of turned it. So it's not fully opposite. It's like halfway, right? So the rounded bit is up on the top of the mouth, and then that wide bit is in the bottom of the mouth. Yeah. There you go. If you are a more bottom heavy player, I think you might really like this. So like I would say definitely probably like if you're more of like a wider bottom heavier player, you might want to look like try between the Beech and the Ashen Zebrano, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's not playable at the moment. No. That's my Mateki. I need to get my Mateki overhauled. But yeah, okay. That's super interesting. Now let's try it up top and in the bottom. So we'll loosen this up. Shimmy it up a little bit and then tighten it again to just make the effect of this wood a lot more pronounced, since we are doing a review. Okay. One very interesting thing is that because we have now, by moving the Woodify up, we have now shifted the entire resonant chamber forward. This means now that that wide bit on the bottom, the wide part of the shape, I'll show it to you guys here again, the wide part of this shape here, is now sitting like on my lower lip. So I have to keep this area really, really, really like loose and with a lot of space around my lower front teeth and here. So yeah, that space is now, everything is just forward. It might be challenging, I would say, for a lot of people to achieve that very fine balance. However, if you can do it, you can hear how crystal clear that those high notes are. But because of the shape that this particular wood combo demands, it does demand that your lower lip has to be really nice and like loose, lots of room, flat, so that you give as much room as possible for resonance in the bottom. So that's super interesting. Now we're going to try it on the on the barrel. So this is going to be interesting. So this is for the low notes. Again, for anyone dropping in for the first time, we are moving the Woodify up and down because if it's higher up the head joint, it'll move your resonant chamber forward. So it makes high notes easier to play. If you move it down the barrel, it will move your resonance chamber further back in the mouth, which will make lower notes easier to play. So actually, give me a second, guys. I'm just going to take this apart entirely because I think I need to free up this guy. Yeah, I need to use my fingers too. There we go. Okay, so now let's try and pop this. It's a little stubborn. There we go. I got it. Okay, got it. So now I can pop this. There we go. In case you guys want to see what I'm doing. Popping out the other side. Oh, 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 oh. It's a delicate operation. Delicate operation. Okay. I got it. I got it, guys. So let's put my head joint back on. Okay. This is a super interesting review. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a ton of fun because, yeah, I really didn't know what to expect, and I'm very pleasantly surprised. Okay, we're gonna try low notes now. Oh, should I swap my flute? Yeah, sure. Why not? All right, see you later in Spirit. Thank you so much for hanging out for so long. Yeah, I think Midnight, you're right. It's more of a bell shape where the bottom of the bell is on the bottom of your mouth. Yeah. Oh, yes, I agree, Amir. These woods are, they are really nice with all the different woods. I love it. It's fantastic. Okay, we're going to try the low notes now. So I'm going to guess it's just more of that bell shape, but now I can just stay in the middle of my mouth rather than going all the way in the front. So you just pretend you're playing middle register. Same thing. It's that bell shape, just like very bottom heavy. Yeah, it like I very good for that. So again, just so you guys, for anyone dropping in, generally speaking, you don't want the Woodify living on the barrel of your flute all the time. You do not want that because it will essentially, like what I have discovered is that it moves the resonant chamber in your mouth further back. And it is not grand for your high notes especially. So I'm just trying to eke this off of my flute. Come on, you can do it. Okay, give me a second, guys. I need to ease this off gently. There we go. Now it can come off. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so I'm just testing the extremes of what these Woodifys can do. And then that way it'll provide you guys a little bit more information with like how you can test it. Okay. I think for the sake of time, because I can see that I have been sent an extra one of the same one, I think I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, I was sent the same one. So we're going to skip this one. And then if we have time, we can come back to this one. But if we don't, honestly, I think it's going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to switch to the Walnut and Zebrano. So I'm very interested to see how this differs from the like lone walnut that we played with before. So we'll see how that goes, guys. First, to stick it onto the flute. Okay. There we go. Then we will. Now, again, I am tightening this like crazy so that I can feel the full effect of the Woodify. There's no need for you guys to tighten it as hard as I am. So these shapes, basically, that you guys see here, these shapes that I have drawn for these Woodify, essentially this is the extreme. Like if you were to tighten it, it's going to feel like this. So you can basically make less extreme shapes. So like, you know, potentially you could just have like less of a like, you know, instead of this shape for the beech, it could just be like this or something, you know? So it's very like customizable, you know? So like if you just loosen it a bit, then it won't be as extreme of a change. Interesting, right? Okay. Back to here. Did I not do the high notes on the ash? I thought I did. I did, because I talked about how it's like right there. There's no ash only. They sent me the ash and Zebrano for both of them. So we will just have to make do. Okay. Great. Okay. So my understanding of a Lafrique is that like the way that it was described to me was that it's like they snapped a bell onto your flute, and so it's like resonating off of that. This actually dampens the vibrations of the flute, so it changes how the flute responds to you. So I would say there is a pretty key difference there. Okay, so we're now trying the Walnut and Zebrano. Let's put that here. Walnut and Zebrano. Let's see. what we make of this. So I'm gonna guess there's gonna be a bit of that cone shape again. Oh, that is very interesting. It is similar. It is similar to the only walnut, but there is a slight difference. I'm going to do some tone color and dynamics. Yeah, okay, very interesting. We do need to go back to the drawing board. So this is for the Walnut and Zebrano. So it has that little inset. So we got our, so this is the side profile. These are lips. Okay. In fact, I'll put this here. This is side. Side profile. I'll put a note on the other ones that this is from the front. From the front. And this one is also from the front. So this one, again, we're working with a side profile. Okay, the cone is tipped. So the cone is like up here and it tips downward like that. Isn't that interesting? So it's like, you definitely feel like it's like the walnut one, except that it's just kind of like tipped upwards. So this part is against, it's right up against the roof of the mouth. So this is the roof. It's right up against there. Yeah, it's so interesting. Okay, I'm going to do a few more tests. We'll do it with the Genshin. So, right, I should actually write my thoughts here. So, like the walnut, but the back of the cone is tipped upward into the roof of the mouth. This is so interesting. Okay, here we go. test one more thing. All right, this does require drawing in order for me to show you guys what I'm doing. Kevin, thank you for the subscription. Okay, so I would say that what I drew here is kind of your middle register feel. Now, so I'll put here middle reg. So we need to look at low register and high register. So what we're working with here, let me draw the lips. Okay. The because the whole cone shifts forward, so I still feel it against the roof of the mouth though. So the whole cone shifts forward and kind of goes like that for low register. For the high register, oops, I'll do that. The high register, it's interesting because you have to resonate up and back more. The cone sits up like this, and then it feels like the whole cone like kind of tips downward. So yeah, I feel like the whole cone tips downward here. And then this one is like, you can see that this one is like slightly tipped upwards, like it's more across, like you blow more across. And then yeah, it's super interesting. So that's kind of what's happening inside of my mouth for this particular Walnut and Zebrano. It's really interesting. The cone sort of does a bit of like a swoop, like it swoops inward for high notes and it swoops kind of outward for low notes. Yeah. Okay, I do want to test a few more things before I get to your question, Michael. So let's try this out. I want to do the high notes, because if we inch this up 1 centimeter, the high notes should feel like the middle register notes. So again, now that I've tucked this upwards, my high register should now feel like the middle register that I just drew here. So we'll test that. Yep. It took me a bit to find it because, as you guys, can tell from this review, the walnut is not my most like comfortable wood to use, but I did find it, and yeah, it feels exactly like the middle register. So now what we're going to do is move the Woodify all the way down to the barrel. So ideally what this does is it makes the low register feel like the middle register. So we won't have that feeling of like it, like the cone, like almost like coming out of our mouth. Getting caught. There we go. Okay. All right, tightening it. So again, for anyone dropping in, with it on the barrel now, this should make my low register. This is the Walnut and Zebrano. It should make the low register feel like the middle register. By the way, I feel like I should make that clear. that is one section. Okay. Okay, so my low register should feel like the middle register now. We'll see. Yep. It makes the low register feel like the middle register. Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Okay, so basically, this is what we have. We have the 5. I'm going to guess. I'm going to make an educated guess about the ash. I'm going to guess that it has something like I wonder if the ash in Zebrano is also very close to what the ash is, because you can see how close the walnut is to the walnut in Zebrano. The walnut in Zebrano just kind of like tips the cone. So I'm going to guess that the ash in the ash on its own probably has some sort of slight bottom heavy feel, but maybe slightly tipped. In some way, like it just might be tipped a little bit. I'm unsure. So, but this is what we have right now. This is our, I guess, conclusion of how these Woodifys work. I'm sure you guys are probably wondering what I personally prefer. I think for me, I was really drawn to the Beech one. The Beech one, I feel like I can do a lot of what I personally want to do. I personally, my mouth likes to just kind of like play with the like the resonant chamber in my mouth, more so as like a sphere, or just like, you know, like just like a wide oblong shape, not like a cone or something like that. I think what I personally like is that the all side, like in terms of the top and the bottom of my my resonant chamber inside of my mouth, personally I prefer symmetry. I like vertical symmetry. So I did like the cherry as well, personally, for my mouth, because it has vertical symmetry. The Beech also had vertical symmetry. And I really, really like that. The Walnut, I guess you could say has vertical symmetry, but just the fact that it forced the back of my mouth open so much and I don't have a very large mouth, I think that's why that wasn't really comfortable for me. But you know, by the way, let me take out that bit there. Yeah, the Ashen Zebrano as well does not have vertical symmetry for me, so that is why on my mouth it's not as comfortable. So yeah, just putting that out there. I have a very small mouth, and also I prefer vertical symmetry. So I think that's why I like the cherry and the beech. But I have students who have mouths that are shaped more like the walnut. I also have students whose mouths are shaped more like the Ashen Zebrano, and also the walnut and Zebrano. So it really is kind of just dependent on your mouth shape, what will work for you. Generally speaking, I think for me, what I would be looking for is a Woodify that more or less matches what I'm already doing. It's just that the Woodify will now allow me to push against the flute a little bit more, dig a little bit more. I don't have to focus as much in my lips. Like I don't have to withstand or withstand, like my lips don't have to withstand as much like control. Like I don't have to control my lips as much. And also I'm finding as well that I don't have to I don't have to hold back the airstream too, because something that I have noticed is that I tend to overblow like crazy. It causes the flute to kind of like, the sound breaks a little bit. But this allows you to just push against it, which is really nice, actually. Like it makes it so that you can just let go and not think about it. It does make you more expressive as a result. So I'm gonna guess that that is probably why people love Woodify. It's because it just allows them to let go and to just, you know, you can dig against the flute. You can also pull back and the flute also won't break. I found that to be very interesting. It almost kind of like solidifies the flute for you, allows you to just kind of be free. Yeah, just not have to think so hard while you play. But there you go. This is my, I knew I was going to have to draw. I knew it. I knew I was going to have to draw. And here you go. These are the drawings for you guys. Yeah, we have kind of similar airstreams, wide overblowing. Yeah, so that's why. So I personally think that the beech would be really nice. The cherry I could see working for me well too, but the beech I just really had that feeling of like, oh, I can just like just do it, you know. I like that you guys have the Genshin theme memorized. I knew that I had to do the same song over and over to, you know, because you need to have that exact comparison. So anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for the review. I can see that I have about 15 minutes left, which I don't think is enough time to say a good enough goodbye to you guys, get your thoughts on the Woodifies and stuff. There is the extra Ashen Zebrano, but I believe it probably works exactly the same way. So let's clean up together and let me know what you guys thought. While you guys do that though, while you guys start trickling in with your thoughts, I will answer the question about what's the difference between tone color and dynamics. So there is some difference. And I'll switch over to this screen as well. There is some difference in tone color and dynamics. So dynamics, generally what you're looking at is a difference in your airstream, like the size of your airstream. So if your airstream is bigger, you're putting in more volume of air, thus you will play louder. And then if your airstream is smaller, you're putting in less volume of air. And so the sound will be softer. But even with the changing size of your airstream, you can control the air pressure. So the volume of air and the pressure of your air are two different things. The air pressure will give you differences in pitch. Higher air pressure will give you higher pitches. Lower air pressure will give you lower pitches. But yeah, the size of the airstream is really what dictates how, like how loud or how soft you play. Now, however, the flute itself is just not that great at dynamics, and honestly has never been. We've been even worse. Like our predecessors were even worse. So so we already do a lot more dynamics than before, but even so, if you compare us to other instruments, we don't do a lot. And so it's like one way to effectively fake dynamics is to use tone color, because when your tone color is thinner, hollower, it has fewer partials in it, and therefore it does not it just doesn't travel as far, and also it just sounds thinner. Because of that, it reads as softer. On the flip side, if your tone color has lots of harmonics, lots of partials, it's very rich, that sound will project more, and it reads as louder. So that's kind of that's what we're working with here. So that's why I kind of mix in tone color and dynamics. I'm kind of doing both at the same time, because honestly, that's how I would use tone color and dynamics. I would mix them together in a practical sense. Like when I'm actually playing the flute, that is actually what I'm doing. I'm kind of mixing them up. So yeah. Let's see. Am I going to use these in my normal streams? I don't know. I mean, I didn't purchase these, and I fully intend on returning these to the Flute Center. So I don't know. If I purchase one, then I will obviously use it in my practice streams. But yeah, I am tempted by the Beech for sure. Very tempted. I honestly haven't really made a decision on whether I want to. Now, you guys saw the look on my face when I started playing it, and I was like, oh. So there definitely is a temptation there, I will say. Yeah, for sure. Oh, Michelle, thank you. Thank you for saying that it was a great analysis. I'm really pleased that you guys enjoy my analysis. Here, I'll let you guys oogle at it a little bit more, yeah, while I put away my flute. Would I try the Woodify on different flutes? I wanted to, but knowing myself, I was like, I'm not gonna have time. It's already been almost 3 hours, guys. Isn't that insane? How quick that was? But yeah, I hope that answered your question about tone color and dynamics. So let's see. Flashback to the Monka head joint stream. Yeah, exactly. That was like when we found this. That was epic. That was like I immediately was like, I'm gonna be sad when I send this back. And then I was like, but I'm almost done paying off my flute, and I have been looking, I have been like just kind of keeping it in my mind that I was going to find my new head joint someday. And yeah, it just kind of happened a little earlier. It happened approximately 6 months earlier than I intended, because I was about 6 months away from my final payment on my my flute. So yeah, but whew. Felix, no. Yes, I'm sorry. You did miss it. But you can oogle at them. Aren't they pretty? Um, okay. Ezra, I do see your question. Nice and dry. Feels good. I do see your question. And you're asking about tips on how to choose pieces for short auditions. That's a very open-ended question because there are lots of different types of auditions out there. We don't know what type of audition you are looking at. So it like I would say that generally speaking, if you're looking at auditions that are kind of what you typically find in the classical world, you would be probably looking at orchestral excerpts, maybe like the opening of either the Mozart G or the Mozart D concertos, stuff like that. Um, and but there are very casual auditions too, where they just kind of want to hear you play and they don't really care. So probably my actual biggest tip for you, that will actually be useful for you, is to clarify. So if you don't know what to play for an audition, email the whoever is the director or whoever is running the auditions, email them for clarification. That is my actual tip for audition stuff. They look like cinnamon cookies, I know. Aren't they so cute? I love them. Like, I'm gonna be totally real with you guys. I don't really want to give back the Beech one. But I just don't really know if I want to, like, if I like, I'm thinking about the implications for my sound. I'm starting to think that maybe I should actually trial it for a week, in which case you guys might actually see it in my practice streams. Yeah, I'm very tempted by the Beech one. Extremely tempted. Kind of between the Beech and the cherry, but I think the Beech one, for sure. You're welcome, Ezra. Yeah, that's the tip that I give my students too. And my students are like, I have this audition. What should I do? And I'm like, don't ask me. I am not the one on the panel, or at least not the person on the board, So yes, email for clarification, and then because that way you don't want it to be on you for picking the wrong thing to play for them. That's something that absolutely should be clarified from their end. Yeah. I don't know, like, if I would interview one of my viewers, if I'm being completely honest. We have considered getting some of my students, and I did this once on Twitch where I taught a lesson on stream, and I have one student who has been telling me that whenever I'm ready, I could just call him up to do a live lesson on stream. If I'm being completely real with you guys, I am not entirely sure why I am still hesitant to do it. I think there's a part of me that holds my lessons with my students kind of in a sacred place. It's a sacred, safe space, and I don't want to disrupt that sacred, safe space. I think it's very difficult to create a space that feels safe, especially online. And I feel that I have achieved this with my students. It's taken me a long time. I have made mistakes over the years as a teacher. I've learned from my mistakes. And I've gotten to the point now where I have cultivated an online studio where my students, when they come to the lesson, feel like they can take a breath of fresh air. Like they feel like they can put their burdens down. They feel like they can make their problems my problems. And the more that I think about it and that I talk about it, I'm guessing that's why I am so hesitant to like, put you guys in the spotlight. Because the thing is, I'm very aware that I love being in the spotlight. I love streaming. I love making content. I love being in front of the camera. But let's face it, guys, not everyone is like that. In fact, most people are not like that. And so I find that it is um like I'm very hesitant to put people in the spotlight. Like even when I vlog, I I'm very hesitant to vlog people's faces unless they're like really, really, really close friends. Because it feels weird. It feels weird to put people in the spotlight when normally when we are like you know hanging out and stuff, like there isn't that pressure of being on camera. So yeah. Best advice, don't ask me. There you go, exactly as Amir said. um I guess I could stream a recorded lesson too. However, there like I would just have to like um I think I have to feel comfortable with it, because I think in a way when I'm in a lesson, um I I also feel like it's my safe space, you know? And I think to put that safe space online is like that private safe space online. It feels kind of weird. It I think I'm just not ready for it yet. Will it happen one day? Probably. But I think right at this moment I'm not ready. I did it for my practice sessions. So my practice sessions are my safe space online that I share with you guys, which is fantastic. Um yeah, I think Beth puts it correctly that like it makes the whole lesson experience entirely performative and it is not optimal for learning. Exactly. Um, and I have currently not found a way to make it not performative. Um, because anytime people know that they are on camera, it is very difficult to um, kind of like steer them into the direction of just being themselves, you know. Um, I have spent many years mastering the art of being myself on camera, and it's taken a really long time. I know that you guys have probably seen my old videos where you've seen that I was much more performative back then. Nowadays, I'm not really performative at all. But yeah. Interesting. Hey, Jackie, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy my review once you get to watch it. Yeah, these Woodifys are one, they're gorgeous, and two, they really make a big difference in the sound. They like change how it resonates in your mouth. It's so interesting. But yeah, exactly. So, um, yeah, no, I am not comfortable right now putting a viewer on camera. I'm not comfortable with it. Yeah, because I think it's mostly because I've been trying to cultivate a really safe space, and I feel that I would be going against that if I were to put you guys on camera. So, yeah. Um, Wonderful. Well, that is about it, guys. That is our stream. Uh, Thank you, Woodify. Thank you, Ale, for sponsoring this review. I'm so like I'm so surprised by how like how these uh, these Woodifys like just absolutely change the behavior of my flute. And I'm so interested to hear how you guys respond to it. It does make me wonder if like on a on a silver flute or something, if it does create the same exact shapes. um I would say at least my guess is that at least they would be similar shapes to what I have drawn today. Um but yeah, so uh my goodness, this was fantastic. But yeah, thank you, Woodify, for sponsoring. Thank you, Flute Center, for sending these gorgeous, gorgeous Woodifys over for me to review, and then also for sending the 2 extra flutes that I will review in future streams. But yeah, that's it, guys. Do you guys have any more questions before I sign off? Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. Yes, please like the video. Please share this, with anyone who might be interested in like a full, very raw, open box reaction and review. Um, I do. That's true. I have 2 more flutes that I could test these on. So, who knows? I might, like, I would say that my initial review today is probably more than enough for you guys to at least have a rough idea of how these work. And also gives me a good idea of how these work, because I walked into this like not really knowing what to expect. I knew that it would probably do something to the airstream. I just didn't think it would do as much of a crazy difference to like the actual resonant chamber inside of your mouth. But yeah. Oh, you guys, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I could see like, oh, there are a lot of you guys for this entire very early stream. So thank you. But yeah, so I guess more things to look forward to. I will be creating a just a like a 15-minute highlight reel from today, just to kind of so for anyone who doesn't have time to watch the entire 3-hour stream, you guys can get like the best parts wrapped in one. So I do plan on releasing that this weekend. And let's see what else. And then I will be scheduling the streams to review these 2 flutes probably next week, I'm guessing. Next week or the week after. But yeah, we've just got lots of fun things to do. And yeah, look forward to that. I'm going to take my lunch break now. I love you guys so very, very much. Please stay happy, healthy, and safe to the best of your ability. And take care of yourselves, because there is no music without the musician. And Jackie, I'm very tempted by the Beech one. I'm so tempted by this one. Very tempted. Like, I don't think you guys know how close to purchasing this I am, but I think I need to give it some time. I'm going to give it some time. So I might play with this one a little bit more during my practice streams this week. I might. No promises, okay? Anyway, I love you all. See you tomorrow in my practice stream. When is my practice stream tomorrow? Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific will be my practice stream. So I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves, okay? No music without the musician, all right? Laters. Bye, guys.